time to dish with D. That's me. Thank you for coming to this video and making yourself a priority. I am Denise. It is Monday. Monday in this channel is my weekly weigh-in and the Weight Watchers weekly meeting topic. Now, they don't post it in the app anymore. They want you to attend Zooms or in-person meetings to get the workshop topic. I do attend meetings, but I have not attended a meeting in 2 weeks. I have been extremely swamped here in my real life. So I have not had the luxury of going to a meeting. I hope to get there Friday. I think I might be able to. It's been my week in the last 6 months has been crazy. But the last 2 weeks has been impossible. I am in charge of my women's group at church, and we have this function that we're doing, and it's all encompassing. And it's driving me a bit nuts. But hopefully, after this week, it'll all be done and we'll be back to our social group as usual and stop being the hostesses. Because as we've been doing for the past since May is being hostesses for events. And I've bad had it. I'm not a party planner, but I've become a party planner and I don't like it. I don't like that job. So, and I didn't get to it. It's just been, I know, it's not even that far for me to go. It's one less thing I could control that I didn't have to worry about. So I've been good on plan. I can't say I've been perfect. I'm never perfect. Let's put that out there. But I've been good, which is good. So I don't expect anything crazy when I go there. Hopefully this Friday. I don't have anything planned right now. I have nothing. So I'm hoping to get there. I did sit in 3 or 4 Zooms today. This topic is really out there. I mean, out there and hard to take notes for because it's a mindset topic. So it's all about mindset. It's all about finding our fit with Weight Watchers. That's the month theme, the fit. And this one is they ask the question, how do you identify yourself? Like you're going to put the question is how I identify as, and you would have to answer that as a healthy lifestyle person, as a Weight Watcher, as a fitness enthusiast, as a mom, as a friend, as a crafter, like in your life, like what could you label yourself? Interesting word I use, label yourself, as something that when you think about you as a whole, what encompasses you? And that is like an interesting thing. It's about how you see yourself. And sometimes when we see ourselves in a certain way and we don't live up to that, the mindset goes a little bit bonkers, I think, too. And one of the questions, are you an exerciser? And some people put yes and some people put no. I would say technically no, even though I try to do 4 to 5 glam squats a week. But I don't consider myself an exerciser. I consider myself somebody, if you ask me, who gets in movement. Yes. And I try to get in movement every day. Now, it changes every day because life changes every day. But I still try to find at least to get my ring closed to get 20, mine is 20 minutes. Everybody could adapt their little ring to anything that they want. I put 20 minutes because I know I can make that. And I feel like when you achieve that, it puts you in a good mindset. Like if you're not hitting it, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't hit that. And that mindset thing comes into play. When we have ourselves as this vision, and when we don't live up to that vision, what happens? Who are you in relationship to your journey? And what is your journey like for you? They're different. Like I said, this is a real interesting, this topic is, the notes are very scattered and they're very interesting. Who am I in relationship to my journey? I'm a person I'll answer that. You can answer that question as well. And leave it in the comment section. And who am I in relationship to my journey? I am a person who tries. I'm a person who isn't always perfect. I'm a person who struggles every day. I don't say that as a negative or a positive. I say that as a reality. Because if I sit there and say, I don't struggle, it's easy, I got this, I have a great relationship with food, I see myself as a work in progress, that every day I have to work at it. Because I feel like once I don't, then that's when all the bad things happen. So how does that show up in the actions? How you see yourself, how does that show up in your actions? it's an interesting way they put it. I mean, it's definitely a way to think. It's a mindset. It's a way we see ourselves. And we have to always keep that positivity in order not to, when you wallow too much in the negativity, then that's when you just go off and complain completely. So I feel like we have to really focus on the positivity. And they also pose the question, what is one thing you know today you wish you knew when you joined, when you started your journey? And that's a huge question because hindsight is 2020, like, oh my God. And I answered it, I wish I realized that portions were a big thing. Serving sizes were available for me to see, and I just chose not to see them. I mean, that's a huge thing. I wish I didn't really realize that till like later in my journey. Like, oh my gosh, things do have a serving size. Sometimes products make things easy for us, and we didn't even know they were there. So that is always one thing. A question is always a good thing. What is one thing you could tell yourself joining? Like, if you could visit yourself in the past, what would you tell yourself? Me, I mean, when I realized that, yes, I can eat foods that I like, I just have to be strategic about it. Like in the beginning, when I first started, probably went to Points Plus, I was on a diet. I didn't have this, I didn't have that. I refused to eat this, I refused to eat that because I can't. But yet on binge day, I could have anything I wanted and didn't care. And then I realized towards, when I was going towards goal, that I could have those things during the week. I could, if I just tweaked them, not sacrificing taste. Like some things I've tweaked I didn't like, and I'm not going to eat it because it's low on points. Like, oh, I can't, like, there's just things I've made, and I'm like, yeah, no, you've never seen them because I don't like it. You're not going to see it. So, what does living a healthy lifestyle look like to you? Does it look like I won't eat that? I don't eat that? Or how do I fit it in? For me, it's how do I fit it in? How do I play roulette with my life? And that's where the food noise and the food chatter comes in for me, because I have to have these conversations with myself. I have to figure it out. And, a lot of people are bothered by that, but for me, and that's when it gets me thinking. If I'm thinking about eating less and eating better, that's such a positive, because I was the person to say whatever she wanted and didn't care. The fact that I'm giving a shit, actually, put it in plain English, giving that is, to me, is when I look at that about positivity in food noise, because there is negative and positive. And I know a lot of people had negative, and that's fine. You can. But I'm just trying to give that perspective of food noise. How do you include Weight Watchers into your life? Not fitting your life into Weight Watchers. Like, how do you do that? How? And for me, it's tracking. It's not perfect tracking, because I'm not a perfect tracker, but it is the quick add. And I definitely feel like that has helped me be accountable, because I have to be accountable for food. I have to be. So for me, that is how I fit, is getting some sort of tracking. Isn't perfect tracking? Nope, it's not perfect tracking, but it's tracking. I say imperfect tracking is better than no tracking. Yep, because you're still tracking. Someone, try to look at my notes. Who am I in relationship to my journey? And how does that show up in my actions? Those are the questions that they pose. And I'm posing those questions to you. Who are you in your relationship to your journey? Are you a follower? Are you a doer? Are you a take action kind of person? Or are you just doing whatever is fed to you and then trying to figure it out? Me, I'm an interpreter. I like to take what they give me, interpret it into my language, and then focus how I attack things, because we all attack things differently. So you have to make it your own. That's why the word journey is a good word, because it really is. If you're an exerciser, if you identify as an exerciser, true or false? Do you identify as an exerciser? That's the question they pose. I kind of made the mistake there. I'm trying to read my notes. I said false. I think I already said that, because I don't feel I do exercise as what other people would ensue exercise. I do movement. If the question was, do you see yourself as a mover? I would have said yes. Absolutely. I find for me, as long as I'm moving, it's a good thing. And it says to embrace movement. as part of your identity. You're a mover. It doesn't have to be you go to Zumba classes, go to Pilates classes, join a gym, even go to Glam Squad. If you just move your body, and everybody's movement is different, you have to find what works for you. Remember, movement is a weight-bearing exercise. When you're moving your body, you're moving all your weight. All of it. So think about that. If you weigh 250 pounds and you're walking, that's 250 pounds each time you lift up your leg. True story. All right. Let me see. I guess I can get it. My notes are very bad. How our identity in relationship to activity. I think it's, in a way, is what activity resonates with you. Just because she does that and she does that doesn't mean you need to do that, because we all have different levels of activity. I tell people, if you walk around your house, that's activity. If you walk your dog, that's activity. Don't poof little things like that. What parts of your identity that we named earlier do you embrace? Like, do you embrace the good things, or do you embrace the bad? Don't always embrace the bad things. Don't always embrace the fact that I can't seem to get that scale to move. Don't embrace that, because it'll happen. You just have to be patient with it. When you identify yourself, do you feel confident? Is there confidence behind that? Do we feel confident in what we do? Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're like, well, yeah, I kind of just did that and it was all right. I think confidence is a lot to do with why we struggle. Just a personal opinion. I think when we lack confidence is when we lack the ability to do, the motivation to do. Like, when we're doing well, we're motivated. When we're not doing well, we're not motivated. And how do we get out of that? Such a big question. How do I find the motivation to get out of the slump? It's finding something you enjoy and not worrying about what other people think, and just doing what you enjoy. And if it makes you happy, it makes you happy. There was a quote I loved, and I wrote it down. Choose a lifestyle, not the number. Somebody quoted that. Choose a lifestyle, not a number. Just because the scale doesn't move didn't mean just because the scale didn't move didn't mean we had a bad week. Like, I've had many a week where the scale doesn't move. Does it mean my week was bad? No. Did I eat and make good choices? I did. Did I have good movement? I did. Then that's a lifestyle. It doesn't happen overnight. And when everything clicks and you realize that and you take it day by day, you will see results. Sometimes we're feast or famine. We're all or nothing. We got to find the middle. We have to. It's kind of like a lady said on the Zoom today about eating, like, let's say it was cake. And she said, I wouldn't eat cake, I wouldn't eat cake, I wouldn't eat cake. And then when I would eat cake, I would eat cake. And the thing of it is, how do you, and God, it's funny, now she eats cake several days a week. So she took the power away from the thing that was giving her the angst. Like, and I say that just because something is high in point doesn't mean we shouldn't eat it. We have to figure out a way to get it in, whether it be eating less of it, tweaking the recipe to make it lighter. There's different things. Like I said, there's different schools of thought. You don't have to tweak everything. You could just eat less. Are you happy with this much versus this much? Or if you need this much, you need to tweak it. That's the bottom line of that one. If you need to eat the volume, there has to be tweaking involved. But if you could sustain with a smaller amount of something that is rich and decadent, then go for it. It's just I think, and I've said this, and a lot of people have, agree and they disagree. It's hard to stop at just that. It's like, how do I stop myself? Tell yourself, have the food chatter, have the talk. Say, you know what, Denise? I know you want more. You're going to have some in a couple of days. And you have to walk away. I think we get in our own head when we're right there facing it. and you have to put it away and you have to walk away. It's basically, it's forced. You have to force yourself to move. You almost like your feet are buried in that ground. You cannot move, but you have to find that strength. Put it away and walk away and get and do something else. I will tell you, you will forget. It's that for me anyway, it's that momentary reflex that always gets me. It's happening in the moment. Once the moment is over, it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't eat that. I'm already proud of myself. I walked away, or I found something to substitute it, which it kind of has the same note, and it helps. Like having those Quest candies that they make. They make several different kinds. They have Quest cookies, they have Quest candies. Having one of them, and I love the fact that they're individually wrapped. Same thing with Choc Zero. They're individually wrapped. And they're the Choc Zero is 2 points. The Quest varies from 2 to 3, depending. And you have those little packs of those things, like M&Ms and stuff. Have a few of those. And it hits that chocolate candy note. Even like protein bars that are made like candy, like Built Bars, Bear Bells, are made to taste like candy. It's made to trick us into that. And have half of it. Wrap it up, put it away. Put it away before you even have it. Like, don't be eating the half you're going to have and then leave the other one, then wrap it. No, because you're still going to be in that zone. Wrap it, put it away out of sight. Sit down, put it on a nice little plate. Relax and enjoy your piece of chocolate. And be done and go occupy and do something else. Get out of that kitchen. That's when movement comes in. That's when we take the dog out. We go out in the yard. We clean. We do something else. I've tried. That has been my latest thing when I started getting towards goal. Like, what could I do? I started organizing. And I'm not organized at all. But I was just, people are like, oh, I try to stress clean. I try to take that angst and put it into something positive. And straightening up and cleaning is a very positive thing. When you're organized and you get rid of clutter, you know, I still have so much to get rid of because, you know, I usually built up a lot. But, and I do not do the Marie Kondo thing because everything brings me joy. I can't sit there, does this bring me joy? Yeah. Does this bring me joy? It sure does. Everything brings me joy. So I don't go to that aspect. I would say, when was the last time you used this? It's been a year. Well, I don't think you need it. So I get rid of it. But yeah, it brings me joy. My cookbooks do bring me joy. Most of the time I was in some of them, it's been a while. But yeah, so definitely find your niche, and everybody's different. Everybody's niche is different. You have to find what motivates you. So that is it. I know this is very scattered. I was in 3 or 4 Zooms today. This topic was not very well put out there. So it's basically, it's a mindset thing. Definitely a mindset. And we want you to answer the question. I am blank. What do you identify as? You know, there's so many things that you could put. It's, you know, somebody put in, why are you, you know, identity is a big thing. What you identify is huge. In this day and age, obviously it's huge. But yeah, I think that's what he meant by that. But it's true. But our identities change. So one day you can identify as one thing, and one day you can identify as something else. To me, it's whatever the mood strikes me, what I identify as this week. You know, but your core identities, you know, and that's just, you know, me, it's you all know my identity is, so you see it right here. This is my identity, helping you guys out. So that is it for me. Let me know in the comment section below what you identify as and how your week went. Was it good? Was it bad? I hate saying bad because sometimes the scale might look like it was bad, but it's not. You know, fluctuations happen. Don't we know that? And as long as you know you're doing the best you can, and don't lie to yourself. Are you doing the best you can? Don't try to pacify and say, of course I'm doing the best I can, but you're really not. The one person we lie to most is ourselves. I have a whole video. Maybe I'll have to remember to link it at the end. I always link interesting videos at the end that kind of reflect on the video that's up. And the lies we tell ourselves was one of the videos I did many years ago, and I loved it. And it's so true. The person we lie to most is us. And the sad reality is I believed my lies. That was very convincing. So that is it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big old thumbs up. If you're not, hit that subscribe button. Join us here at Dish with Dee, where we are doing healthy lifestyle chit chats. And this is Monday, and this is the Weight Watchers weekly meeting topic. let me know if you are new here. Welcome, and I will dish with you another day. Bye bye, my lovelies.